Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday to show you a fun new project. So hopefully you guys had a great day. Mine was so productive. Again, I literally have no idea what to do with myself. Years ago, Bo told me to start using my phone as my calendar, and I transferred everything over to my phone, but then I feel like I'm always chasing my tail, and I need something in writing. So I got this great big desk calendar and started writing my to-do lists down and things that I want to get done, and I am literally checking things off, and it is so nice to have it back on paper. I'm a visual person. I have to see things written down and then checked off. A lot of the time it's up in my head, but I love having it written down. So I am just checking things off and getting things accomplished, and I had a very relaxing day. I cleaned the entire craft room, and I mopped. I have not mopped in my craft room in a very long time. It was very hot. It was very sweaty. It was not fun. And then when I told Bo what I was doing, he's like, you should probably do the baseboards while you're at it. And I was like, we are not going to do baseboards today. I am barely going to get the craft room mopped. We will not be doing baseboards. So maybe next go around I'll do those and the window seals. So anyway, that was my day. Hopefully you guys had a good one. Good evening, Marie. Welcome. So today's card is so stinking cute. I can't even control myself. And it's easy, but there's a few extra little steps to it. So on Tuesday, I did one that was a lot of steps. This one is not as many, but it is well worth it to see the final outcome. So I am going to point you over. Oh, I didn't plug everything in. I stand up to do my lives, but then I sit down when I'm typing everything into my computer, but I do it on the other side of my desk. So I have to unplug everything since everything's area. So I always forget to plug it back in. Long story. Sorry, you probably didn't even care about that, but I told you anyways. Let's move my hair clip out of the way and let me see if we are live on Facebook. I turned my volume off because I was watching YouTube the other day, so I had to make sure my volume was off. Okay, let's bring in what we're going to be playing with. So I used these on Tuesday's Facebook Live. And remember how I said I was missing one of these, but I knew it was in a safe spot when I cleaned today? I knew exactly where it was. It was right where I left it under lots of papers. So we are using this again. I pulled in the little banner dies. So I have the largest one and then the second to the largest. Those are the two that I used. And we're actually using these ones in card class on Saturday. So I have definitely used the heck out of these guys. They are definitely fun. They are called the Nested Essentials, and they are definitely an essential in your craft room. And then I decided to bring in layering leaves. So I didn't bring in my my Rolodex that I use for my birthdays, but I was looking at my September birthdays right ahead of time. We're just barely in the third day of August, and I'm already looking into September. And I needed a lot of birthday cards for my September month. So I wanted to do something with the layering leaves, but I really wanted a happy birthday. But this has so happy to celebrate you. And I really think you can use that for wedding. You can use it for birthday. There's lots of occasions that you can use that for a retirement. So that's the sentiment we're going to be using. But even best wishes doesn't always have to be wedding. It could be birthday as well. So I loved all of the sentiments, and I love the font of this set. And we are using the punch that goes with it. And then last but not least, everybody got a full pack of this designer series paper at the summer retreat. So I know if you're watching the Facebook Live, I totally know you have this designer series paper. So I'm going to show you a fun, cute way to use up some of your cardstock or your designer series paper. That's what it's called. Actually, I'll put that in later. So I have made lots of cards using that set. So here is our first card. And I know sometimes using our browns as your focal point can be a little challenging sometimes. So that's why I wanted to start with this card. This was actually the very first one that I made. And I pulled in some Granny Apple Green and some Berry Burst just to give it a little bit of color to it. So there's one that I've already made. And I did the Lemon Lolly Lemon Lime Twist. I did one in the Lemon Lime Twist as well, just because these are maybe a little bit harder of colors to play with. So I wanted to focus on these two first, but I do have the other three designs so we can put those together. So there's those two. And I wanted to use, I bought a bunch of these pearls for my daughter's wedding invitations, and I had like a pack and a half left. So I decided I wanted to bring in some pearls, but I wanted to color them the Berry Burst. So I'll show you how I did that as well. So that is what we're going to be making. We're going to do the first one from start to finish, and then the other two I have already stamped and cut everything. Okay, so this is your card base. You will need some scrap basic whites. It doesn't matter the size, I just brought some scraps over. So you have a piece of Berry Burst is what I'm using right now. This is 5.5 by 8.5. And I scored it at 4 1/4. We have one piece of our basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to be our inserts. And then, excuse me, I have another piece of our basic white. This is 3 3/4 by 5. And I cut the designer series paper at 3.5 by 4 3/4. So it's just going to sit right inside. And then the extra piece is what I went ahead and did the envelope with. And then I have two pieces of our banner, one in cardstock and the other one in our basic white. So this portion of it is super quick, super easy. But once we get to the stamping, it's not that it's difficult, it's just a few extra steps. Good evening, Bev. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So this one is going to go on the inside. We're going to put that in first. Lay that right there. And usually we have our cards that open this way, but we are going to do it vertically we're doing it horizontal instead of vertically. So we're going to do it long ways. Good evening, Mary. Welcome. Hopefully you guys saw the original card that I brought in. Let me see if I can bring it in, and it can be sitting in the corner view. So we'll see if that works. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the top. So pretty much our card is done. We just need to decorate it. So I do have an extra border around my card base, which I usually don't do. So that is definitely something a little bit different. So now we can start doing our stamping. So I'm going to bring in our scrap basic whites, and I have my leaves and then my little flower. So first I'm going to grab the Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to stamp 4. So 1, 2, I guess I don't have to count. You guys can pretty much know what I am doing. So there's 4. And then in the stamp set, it has this inside for the leaves. I'm using the same Granny Apple Green, but I am going to come over here and I'm going to stamp off one time. So when I go to layer this on top, it will just be a lighter version. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp off. And you can definitely use your grid paper to stamp off. I just don't have any beside me. That actually would make a really pretty card had I not stamped right on top of it. But it's actually a really pretty design. And there's our last one. Perfect. We are done with the Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to bring in my other 2 pieces of scratch paper. I don't know where my scissors are, so I'm just going to trim that off. And I'm going to bring in my Berry Burst. So before I stamp with the flower on the berry burst, I want to look at my punch to know which way the flower is going or the stem is going to go. So it is going upside down. So I want to make sure to stamp all of these upside down. I know it sounds a little wonky, but it does work. And we need 4 of these. And it looks like I don't need that extra scrap. So that's all the stamping. Now we have to do some punching. So I am going to go ahead, and I should have mentioned that earlier. So this is a 1.5 inch piece. It just happened to be the size that we needed for this. I didn't cut our designer series paper. So I am going to slide this in. So I made sure I was going the right direction. So I'm going to slide this in. Line it up, give it a good punch, and you're going to get lots of shrapnel. So we're going to do the same thing. Good evening, Darlene. Bev, I see you said hi to Natalie, but Natalie hasn't said hi, so I can't tell she's on. Unless you say hi, I honestly don't know who's on or who isn't. So I'm just going to keep sliding this up. And make sure when you're using these punches that you're keeping your hand out of the way of this guy. It will pinch you, it will hurt, and you will say a lot of bad words. So when you're punching these, just make sure your little fat part of your hand is out of the way. Otherwise, it will not be pretty. So now I'm going to take this, and remember how we stamped these upside down? We are going to now punch them. Good evening, Bev. Thanks for joining. So I'm just going to slide this in. This is where you're going to get the lots of shrapnel because I didn't cut it. So this side is going to be cutting as well. Oh, need to trim this off. It's not going to fit. Slide this in. And I cannot throw all of this shrapnel on the floor because I just swept and mopped. And I will be so irritated if I make a mess. So now that we're at the edge, I guess I didn't put that into thought. I am going to grab a Post-it note. So let's put it a little bit closer. And this is going to be my extra hand in punching. Since I can't fit it in there, there we go. And I didn't destroy that, so we can save that and use it for something else. And it's just a Post-it note, so you could really throw it away too. So I'm going to dump all the shrapnel off to the side, because if it falls on my floor, I'm not going to be a happy camper. Scoot all that over. So now we are left with these guys. We have 4 of them. So I am going to bring in the Berry Burst and stamp my sentiments. So happy to celebrate you. I'm going to line this up. There we go. And I'm not going to attach it just yet. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. Good evening, Tracy. Thanks for joining. I'm going to put 5 dimensionals on the back. It is a little overkill. Actually, sorry, I'm going to put more. I'm going to put 3 on each side and then 1 in the center. And I'll show you why I'm doing the 3 on each side. And the 1 in the center is because us ladies, we don't want anything to sag. So that's why I did that. But now I'm going to grab the leaves and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to lay it on the dimensional. So it's just hanging off the edge. And then I'm going to do it to the second one as well. Just so you can see right here, it's just peeking out the edge a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with these guys and kind of tuck it underneath and add it to the dimensional as well. And there's one other step that I'm going to do before we glue this down. So they're just peeking out the side. And you could probably do this upside down. especially the big leaves. For these little guys, ooh, maybe not. Do as I say, not as I do. It looks better if you can see what you're doing. So now I'm going to take this and slide that in. So hopefully you get what I'm doing. I'm just tucking these in so they're peeking out the edge. So there's that. And now I'm going to center this. Actually, I lied. We need glue. So because it is just attached with dimensionals, I'm going to put a little smidgen of glue on the leaves. And this is just going to help hold the leaves in place. I'm literally just putting a smidgen on. Hopefully you can see, I'll lift it up so you can see there's not much glue on. Now we can go ahead and glue it to our base. There we go. Give it a good press. And you will see that these little guys are not laid down. So what I did is I just kind of flipped it over a little bit and added a smidgen and then held it down. So there's little tiny extra steps to this card, but it's so stinking cute. I don't know if I'm going to make 17 of them because that's what I need for my birthday for September, but maybe a handful of September birthdays will get this. There's that. Now we can glue this down. And I didn't glue this down first because sometimes my glue doesn't dry instantly and then it shifts and then I get irritated. So that's why. Let me grab my pearls, and I have the dark berry burst. So I'm going to very gently take my thick end and just color these pearls. You want to go super gentle when you're doing this. You don't want to damage the tip of your blends. And then take your pick tool, and you can just sprinkle these around. So there you go. And you have your matching envelope to match. So there is that one. Let's do, I'm sure we have plenty of time. I already have everything punched and stamped, so we literally just have to put it together. So this one is the blueberry bushel. So I know almost every one of you guys have this designer series paper. I don't know if you have the stamp set, but it is definitely a very versatile stamp set. It's called Layering Leaves, and it comes with, actually, I don't think it's a bundle. I think the punch is separate, but it is definitely a fun set to play with. Thank you, Jessica. It's something different, something unique, and something fun. And you could use either side of the designer series paper, but I really, really like the big bold of this side. There we go. And I am going to flip this over because there is two sides to this, to the die cuts. So gotta get it. And it's probably overkill on the dimensionals, but I needed these on that side to hold down the stems. And you know what? It's your card. If you want to put a million on a tiny piece, do it. Do what makes you happy. Even though mopping my craft room did not make me happy at all today, it was a necessity. It does look and smell amazing in here. So I am glad I did it. Not at the time, but I am now. So let's put this over here. There we go. Thank you. I love all of these colors. I don't think you can make an ugly card. Honestly, with the designer series paper Stampin' Up! Comes out with, I really don't think you can. And then the berry burst just gives it a little bit of a pop. So tuck that in underneath. Tuck that one in. This is probably the most time-consuming part of it, is putting these on. There we go. Flip it over. Let's grab, put some adhesive on. And sometimes you might be able to see the little tiny flowers in front through the back where you could add some adhesive to it, but don't stress. Okay, now that definitely pops. Definitely that pops. Okay, I did forget that we're using different ink, so let me clean off the sentiments. Don't want to cross-contaminate my ink. Blueberry bushel. So happy to celebrate you. Thanks, Bev. There we go. Let's close it. But I am going to do the berry burst in the gems. I am keeping that consistent with all of them. Oh, so cute. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can say that about my own card, but I just did. I just want to glue these guys down so I don't forget later. There we go. Let's color our pearls. If I can remember the safe spot I put them, that literally was 3 seconds ago. Oh, story of my life. Oh, ha, they're right there, right beside me. So this one, I only have one small one left, and I have, the rest are big. So I actually am just going to color them all since I have it right here, and we have one card left to put together. But I'll show you what you can do so it doesn't look off-centered, having one smaller one. So I'm going to put the smaller one in the center, and then I'm going to come in and put the larger ones on the edge. So it doesn't look like it's off kilter at all. There you go. And our envelope that matches. So fun, so cute. And I know some of you guys are probably getting back to school or getting the kids fed or in bed. So I totally know if you can't stay on. I'm just going to quickly put the last card together and we can just chit chat. So did everybody have a good day? Did anybody do anything spectacular? Thank you, Bev. Thanks, Tracy. So who is going to make a card like this? Even if you don't have the stamp set, you could definitely use the same design. That, or make sure to save the video and you can do it at the October retreat. There's always a will, or where there's a will, there's a way. So there's lots. This would actually be a cute Christmas card as well if we used like the holly berries, or I don't know if there's any holly berries in the catalog. I didn't specifically look for those, but this would definitely be a cute Christmas card as well. Possibilities are endless. That's what I love about crafting. One could make it one way, somebody else can make it a different, and it's the same exact concept. Oh, Darlene, you are good. Love to hear that. If I could do one thing in life to make somebody else's life easier, I am totally all about that. Oh, that's a little wonky. That's okay. Nobody's going to know. There we go. I really want to get all 5 of these done so everybody can see and you can pick which color you like best. Oh, and he fell off. All fun and games until you lose a flower. Quickly put this on. There we go. Okay, this one pops really nice too. I don't know which one is my favorite. I love them all. Let me grab the pretty peacock. Speaking of peacocks, we actually have a peacock that lives in our neighborhood area. I still don't know where. We just hear it all the time, and they are loud and kind of not like a pretty loud. I don't know how to say that being nice. They're a little annoying. They're so loud. It's kind of nuts. I would have never thought. Okay, there's that. Let's grab our gems. And I have burned through another pack of pearls. Thank you, Natalie. I haven't ordered pearls in forever. Okay, there we go. So here is the pretty peacock. Let's get all this out of the way so you guys can just see the cards and none of my shrapnel. This one is the blueberry bushel. We have berry burst. This one is pecan pie. And this one is the lemon lolly. Not lemon lolly, lemon lime twist. I'm never going to get that one right. They're so close in the words. So there you go. Hopefully you guys liked tonight's live. It was definitely fun and something definitely different and so bright, which I love. And actually, I don't know if you noticed, but my shirt is actually the same color as the lemon lime twist. I didn't realize that when I got dressed this morning that I was going to match the color I was going to be doing on my Facebook Live. Kind of crazy, right? Anyway, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. I do have card class on Saturday. I think there's 2 spots left. So if anybody is interested in coming, definitely send me a message so I can save you a spot. If not, I will see everybody on Tuesday, and have a great weekend and just craft. It's hot outside, so stay inside and craft your hearts out. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.